Thanks for the intro. Hi everyone. All right, you think somebody working in tech might be prepared, but the product manager, there you have it. So, my name is Christian. I've been working at Meta for the last 6 years. I was based in the US previously, but I'm in Paris now. And I was 4 years as the product manager on PyTorch, so it's just full circle for me. It's quite great to see the community growing. And with PyTorch, I worked on-device and privacy, and then took over PyTorch and led the 2.0 launch. After that, I moved to Paris to work on Llama in generative AI research at Meta. And today, I'm a product manager at Keller, which is our foundational AI research lab working on world models, what we think is going to come next. But today, it's about Llama. So, I won't tell anyone anything new here that LLMs are taking over the world. Everybody's talking about it. Meta itself is integrating in a lot of its products, from creative tools to ads, whether it's for image generation or text and engagement. And AI isn't just about generative models. It's also about initially classification of images, recommender system. It was used in many, many different ways. And some of my friends are like, oh, I'm starting to use AI. I'm like, oh, this is great. Have you not been using Google for the last 20 years? I don't know. But so you have it. Now generative AI is taking over the world. What's coming next beyond these LLMs, and what we're going to try to do with Llama here, is get these models to think better and go towards artificial general intelligence. Now, Llama 4 is not that, but it's a step towards it. Let's hope so. So the evolution of Llama. One thing a lot of people don't know, and you're here in Paris, is that Llama 1 and Llama 2 were built here in Paris, like at the offices near Opera, by a set of researchers that were here working at FAIR. And I worked personally on Llama 3. And so the launch of Llama 3 was our way to catch up, to say, look, there's these great models out there. There's ChatGPT, there's Geminis. We want to play in this game, we want to be serious about it. And so when we launched Llama 3 was our way to do that. With Llama 3.1 in particular, that was a 405 billion parameter model, so pretty big, hard to use every day in most cases. But late last year, we launched Llama 3.3. And with Llama 3.3, we're able to compress pretty much a lot of the quality of the Llama 3.1 model into a 70 billion parameter model that's used and deployed in a lot of our products at Meta. And so one thing about innovation, I think, in this space is that the way I frame it is that it comes in two different flavors. One is around improving the capabilities a given model has to be able to do more things, unlock new types of applications. But the other one is around efficiency and around making more bang for buck in the models that you have, so that they've got lower cost, and then new use cases can also be deployed because they're suddenly they make sense from an ROI perspective. And in April, we just launched Llama 4, at least the first two models of our herd, the Llama 4 Scout and Maverick. And I'll tell you a little bit more about those. But first, at a high level, thank you for the Hugging Face people here that I see. Llama has been downloaded over 1 billion times on Hugging Face. Like, when I think of it, personally, I don't quite grasp that, because there's maybe, I don't know, 50, 70,000 researchers or engineers working in LLMs in the world, but they've downloaded 1 billion times. Like, did they just fail on these downloads? No. But because each time we launch a new model, they were able to kind of test new things, different versions of the model that they try out. And it just shows that I think that people are really engaged, I think, in this community. There's a community around Llama that's being built. And that's shown with the derivative models that are built on top of it. So there's over 200,000 models that have been built on top of Llama that people have been able to take and customize and make their own for their own applications. That's one of the powers, I think, of open source. So Llama isn't just a model. It's not just also the community. It's a group of things that involve the stack. That's how you're going to deploy it. I'll tell you more about this. An ability to run it in many different places, whether it's on your premises or cloud service providers, and customize it. And then you have a set of tools around it to make the model safer. And I'll have a whole section on responsible AI and how to build it with Llama. So I think everybody knows what you can do with LLMs here, but very quickly, it's used for translation, it's used for content creation, it's used for education. And my thesis on this is that I don't think we yet have the hero use cases that are going to be deployed that are going to make these things big. They're already big. Like I use it to edit documents. My spouse is learning French right now. I wrote a little program for her to correct her essays, with some pre-prompting on it, so it would be rated like the Delph B1 level that she's trying to take. And so you can do a lot of these things yourself. These models are very powerful. They're very flexible in what you can do with them. Llama can be deployed anywhere. So whether it's on your premises or on the cloud, that allows you also, for the second point, to have more control around your data and around privacy, because you're not sending your data into API calls. You're not connecting your own tools elsewhere. You're able to control how you choose to deploy these things yourself. There's a whole ecosystem, not just the derivative model I talked about, but a lot of people build around Llama tools and ways to connect and improve, like agentic type behavior or tools that can easily be connected to it. You can customize it. I've tried myself to fine-tune a model. Turns out that even product managers can do it. So it's not so hard. And I'll have a little slide also on PyTorch and Torch too, and you can use to do so. And then finally, allows you to take control of your future, because you're able to build a whole stack around it and evolve with the model as it's changing and as we're updating it. So the open approach. This image always gets me. So OpenAI, open source AI is the path forward, like I'm on the OpenAI. So why do we do OpenAI at Meta, you might ask? We've got fiduciary responsibilities. We try to make money, and we try to make our users happy too. But overall, I think it aligns very much with what we want to do at Meta to do open source work. One is it's good for developers. It's good for developers because it gives them tools that they can use that are top-notch, that allows them to innovate outside. These developers, we recruit a lot of them. So when they come to work for us at Meta, they already know these tools. There's a benefit to do that. It also helps accelerate innovation in the space. And for us, we're not making, our main revenue stream isn't API calls on our models. It's advertising, it's these other things. So what we want is people to have the best tool possible to build, create on our platforms, create the best ads possible, whether it's the tools we built or the tools others have built. And so if the space advances fast, if it improves fast, it benefits us in the long term. And we think it will help the world. And I have a few examples of use cases where Llama has been used also outside of Meta in positive ways. So the Llama stack, I'm just keeping track of time. So the Llama stack, think of it as an abstraction to make your life easier as a developer. It connects with different ways you can deploy your model, whether it's different hardware backends or different cloud service providers, your own, and different interfaces in how you connect different tools on top of Llama to make it a useful product for you. There's ways you can use it to help with inference, to build agents, to manage memory. There's also ways where you can use it to customize the model, whether it's creating your own evals, to fine-tuning on those and try to improve it with reinforcement learning and the likes. And our community has adopted it. So whether you're deploying it on Amazon or Hugging Face, or you're deploying it on Hugging Face, whether you have NVIDIA hardware, they're all adopted Llama stacks, so you can use it. This is a couple of PyTorch slides here. So Torch 2, if you haven't tried it out, this is an example here with Llama 3.1, where you can use it to fine-tune a Llama model. So I haven't tried it with Llama 4, I'll be honest, but with Llama 3.1 it was working quite well. And there's ways and tutorials where it shows you, walks you through it. The second one I'll call out, and this was my pet project, let's say, where Raziel and I, former PyTorch engineer, worked on that. And ExecuTorch is a way you can deploy Llama on device and deploy any model in effect on device. But we have optimized versions of Llama that work on ExecuTorch that allow you with a very low overhead to deploy on any type of device that you want to target. So Llama models. I'm only going to talk today about Llama 4, but if you have questions, I worked on Llama 3, so I can tell you more about this one too. So the two first models we launched for Llama 4 are Llama 4 Scout and Llama 4 Maverick. So a few of the innovations I think we're bringing in here is that compared to the previous llamas, they're a mixture of experts. They've got 17 billion active parameters being used at any given time. For the Scout, it's 16 experts, and for the Maverick, it's 128. With the number of parameters growing for one and the other. There are differences, though, in how you might want to use it. So, for example, Llama 4 Scout has a lot more context length, 10 million context length. So this is one of the feedback we got on Llama 3, which is people wanted more context length. There were a lot of use cases people wanted to leverage Llama 4 that they were not able to because they lack context length. If you're working with like a code base, you want it all loaded, for example, in your model, you couldn't do that before. Now you can. You can have your entire code base loaded and work on it and ask questions about it. And then they're natively multimodal. So you're able to ask them any questions about images and other modalities that we're going to keep adding on over time. That makes it different from Llama 3. So one point I'll say in this one is that Llama 4 Scout fits on the one NVIDIA H100 GPU. So you can run on just one GPU, which they're not cheap yet, but they're getting there, hopefully. And so you don't need like crazy infrastructure to manage it. Like one GPU will handle your workload, and you can handle like very long context length just with that. So this is just a quick summary of the models, but I already said most of the points on this one. So when you think of what model to use, it's not a one-size-fits-all. You got to think like most use cases that I pretty much deploy and play with models with right now. It's Llama 3.370. It's a dense model. It's easy to deploy. I've already done it a bunch, and it's been great. But now Llama 4 brings these additional options for you and additional, better benchmark numbers that I'll talk about. All right, this is just a summary slide if people want to, some people take pictures of this one in general because they have pretty much the best use cases for each of them that I tend to abide by. All right, so Llama 4, Scout and Maverick, I'll repeat, are natively multimodal, extended context window. They've got image grounding where they understand images and text, and they were trained like that at the same time. Multilingual, which is 12 languages now, a lot better than what we had better, and superior performance at lower cost. All right. So on the evals front, I don't know how you pick your model in general, but for people that deploy models, what I tend to recommend is like don't look at every benchmark. Try to understand what benchmark works best for you. And what you want to do initially is like find what's your proxy benchmark for any deployment that you're looking at. And then from there, with Llama, you can fine-tune and improve on these benchmarks. So for example, for this one, like Dog VQA, 94.5, really high on that. Life Coach Bench, 32.8. I know there's a lot of other models that are better at this, but Llama can be fine-tuned and improve on all of these. Sorry, it's with question or without?
What was that?
It's with questions or?
No.
Okay. Okay, so I'll go to the responsible AI element. So one thing that's difficult for us at Meta is because we do open source, the models release go in the open. We don't control at the API call level any type of way to protect people. Like people use it, they deploy them. And so what we want to do is we want to think like an entire development flow, like how safety impacts the model. What we do also is we provide Llama Guard. And so I'll talk a little bit here about how Llama Guard works. Llama Guard is a Llama model that we've turned into a classifier. So a lot of these LMs can be used as classifiers where you teach them, to understand whether this type of content is, risk about X, Y, and Z, or if it's safe. And so the way our systems are built, even at Meta, is that for every input that comes in, we filter this input through a Llama Guard. We classify it to see if there's any risk. Then depending on how that's classified, we send it to the LLM itself. Then there's a whole backend system to access to tools where Llama Guard can also be used to figure out if the model should or not be able to request things from tools like databases or the likes. And then the same thing, based on what the model comes out with, we make sure that its content is appropriate to show, and then we only then show it to the user. So in terms of deployment, it's not just giving access to your model, it's building this entire system around safety, and we provide the tools to do that with Llama Stack and Llama Guard in particular. So there's different versions of it depending on your use case, whether it's for vision models or purely text or focus on multilinguality. So we've built AI responsibly for years, over 10 years building open research at FAIR. We've started the AI Alliance with companies like IBM that look at understanding and creating frameworks around what safety is about. And for every model we have, we put system cards out there on how to use it. So if you want to learn more about building AI responsibly, we've also got education online on how to do that. And if you want to learn more about Llama, you can scan the QR code, and that's it for me. Thank you.